Hi, I'm Sara and welcome to Hen Corner. Today is Cider Sunday. It's that time of year where the apples are ripe, many have fallen. We've gathered them up, we've picked the rest off the tree, and we are going to be pressing them, this old faithful press, and making apple juice and fermenting some of that to make cider. As well as making the juice and the subsequent cider, we're also then going to take the pulp of the apples that's left over as a byproduct, and we're going to be making apple wine and apple and chili jelly. So this is a key day every year at Hen Corner, and we're looking forward to seeing how much we can produce this time round. So with our cider making, we take as many homegrown apples that we can scrump and gather, collect the windfalls, pick off the trees, and we give them a good wash in water. Then we simply quarter them, removing anything that really isn't good enough to eat. And then the apples, cores, pips, peel and all go into the big scratter, which chops them into a fine mush. That mush is then transferred across into the cider press, filled up to the top, and then we start to spin that handle to get the juices flowing. As the juices flow out of the bottom of the cider press, they can be gathered straight into a demijohn, and then all we need is the airlock valve on the top, and that can be stored, fermenting within minutes, ready to make cider for Christmas. It's the day after Cider Sunday. My goodness, what a day. Although it was quieter this year, being 2020. We had just a few friends round, and between us we pressed 96 pints of apple juice. Now some of it we bottled up as apple juice, and I was pasteurising this last night by having the sealed sterilised bottles filled with the juice sitting in a pan of simmering water for 10 minutes. That kills any of the yeast and bacteria and stops it from fermenting. So that is apple juice that we can enjoy throughout the year. The rest of the juice that we pressed is in demijohns, and this is the stuff that is fermenting into cider. We will be looking after that. It will be bubbling with the natural yeasts that are already on the apples. It will bubble, it will ferment, the yeast will enjoy all the natural fruit sugars that were there in the apples, and this cider will be ready to drink by Christmas. But why am I filming this today? Well, today, the day after Cider Sunday, is a really big day in preparing and processing all the leftover apple pulp. There's two main products that we make with the apple pulp. We make apple wine, which is different from cider because we're not using the apple juice, which goes into the cider. We're using the pulp, what's left over. We soak the pulp in water, and then we ferment that with sugar and yeast and some raisins and some tea for tannin and some lemon juice for acidity. So the apple wine is really gorgeous, and actually I prefer this to the cider, really nice. And then we've got our famous apple and chili jelly. We did a TV show with Tom Kerridge with this a couple of years ago. Our apple and chili jelly is wonderful for serving with cold meats, with cheese, in a sandwich, in a salad, on the side of a roast dinner. It even works on ice cream. So I'm going to be showing you how to make apple and chili jelly today. Apple and chili jelly is made using the pulp left over from the cider making process. We then boil it in big saucepans on the stove, boil it with lots of water to extract any last bits of flavour and juice and pectin, the important part for making jellies. We then strain the pulp overnight in linen bags, and the juice is collected underneath the bags. This juice has got pectin in it, it's got apple flavours in it, and the pectin combined with the sugar in the jelly making process is what's going to give it that perfect set. So we weigh out the reserved liquor, the pectin stock, and we add equal quantities of granulated sugar in our biggest saucepan. So using our big favourite preserving pan, we would use 1 kilo of sugar, 1 kilo of apple pectin stock, the juice of 1 lemon, and a tablespoon of chili flakes. We then boil this for a high foaming boil, and we let it boil for about 10 minutes. And then we check it by doing a number of different tests. Our first test is to wait. We wait for 10 minutes at that high foaming boil. Our second test is to watch, and watch as the bubbles change in consistency and ferociousness. They start from a gentle bubble like a bubble bath, and they end up more like a volcano. So we wait and we watch. Then we wobble. We use a spoon and we dip it into the hot jelly and see if we can hold a wobble from a drip of jelly falling off the spoon. Then finally we do the wrinkle test. The wrinkle test is where we put a drop of jelly onto a cold saucer from the freezer, and then pushing it with our finger, we see if we can see a wrinkle forming as the jelly has started to cool and started to set. So those 4 tests: waiting, watching, wobble and wrinkle, and that should all show that our jelly has reached the perfect set and it's ready to be potted up in sterilised jars. If those tests aren't being met, just let it boil a little bit longer and you'll soon find you get the results that you're looking for. Once potted up in sterilised jars, this jelly will keep absolutely perfectly for 2, 3, maybe even 4 years, and it makes a fabulous gift for Christmas presents. It's been brilliant telling you about Cider Sunday and all of the products that we make from our juicing. We're making apple juice, we're making cider, we're making apple wine, and we're making apple and chili jelly. So if you ever have a go at making cider yourself, do let us know how you get on, and we'd love to hear from you. So keep in touch. You can subscribe to our blog, hencorner.com, follow us on social media at Hen Corner, and we look forward to seeing you soon. Join us on the journey.